Welcome everybody to Forza Horizon 5, and today we're taking a look at the 2021 Audi RS7 Sportback. Now this is based on the second generation of the A7. Production started in 2018, and over the standard car this has stuff like rear wheel steering, air suspension that is adjustable to various settings from comfort to race and the like, and it also has ceramic brakes. And yeah, I wasn't the biggest of fans of the first RS7 Sportback, which was based on the first generation, as it felt a little bit overweight, a little bit, long and large and all of that lot. And even though that hasn't really changed with this, in fact this weighs now 243 pounds more than the first version, 4,553 pounds, it does have more power, better handling and better looks to go with it. So yeah, under the bonnet this has a really rather sizable 4-litre twin turbocharged V8 engine, which is coupled with a 48 volt mild hybrid electric vehicle system, which all in total generates 591 horsepower and 590 pounds-feet of torque, which is, yeah, solid amount of horsepower really and torque. That's 39 horsepower more than the first version, and 37 pounds-feet of torque more as well. So yeah, even though it weighs more, the extra power and torque is definitely aiding this in terms of being quicker in terms of acceleration over that first generation. So yeah, and being a newer car, it looks absolutely stunning inside. Typical Audi high quality manufacturing going on here. Nice, a lot of aluminium and shiny bits and big screens and yeah, everything where you'd expect it to be. And yeah, because it is the Sportback version, not just a normal saloon, it's also got plenty of room in the rear and in the boot. So yeah, plenty of leg room for your passengers, and a huge, gargantuan amount of space for the boot. Look at that. That is humongous. Some SUVs would struggle to get to that level of space. So yeah, and obviously it's not that high riding either, so you're not got a high sill to lift everything over. So yeah, impressive car in terms of practicality. I rather like the look of it. I certainly prefer the looks of this to the first version. And yeah, with that extra power and the extra upgrades in terms of handling, this is a more fun car to drive. So yeah, to see how fun, let's get out onto the open road and see what this car can do. So yeah, with all-wheel drive and all of that power and torque, there's no surprise that this is a really rather quick car in a straight line, despite its gargantuan amount of weight. So let's see what it can do on this drag strip before we hit the speed camera, and then we'll get it around the track. So yeah, easy car to get off the line, no troubles whatsoever. You've got the spoiler there that will deploy at a certain rate of speed, but it will decline when you get above a certain rate of speed, so you can improve your aerodynamics. Still, yeah, we're getting up to 138 miles an hour, which for a car that weighs as much as this is pretty good, quite frankly. And yeah, you can see the rear wheel steering working there, I hope. It's not the first car that has been simulated to have this, but certainly helps this car get round corners a lot better than it would otherwise, as it helps turn in a lot better, get the rear end turning in a lot better than it would do, meaning that you actually get less understeer than you would normally in a big Audi saloon, which still has its engine right up front, but to increase interior space, but that's not come at the detriment of handling, thankfully, despite, like I said, this weighing more than the previous generation of this car. So yeah, let's get to rivals. We're in high-end A-class, and as you can see, pretty good stats all around, quite frankly. Speed, handling, acceleration, launch are all really rather excellent. The braking is only really let down due to the huge amount of weight that this car has going on, but from at least 70 miles an hour it doesn't take very long to stop at all. So yeah, that is pretty good for something of this size. But yeah, weight is pretty much not as balanced as you would like. 56% front, 34% rear. So yeah, it is quite front biased, but like I said, with that rear wheel steering, there's not as much understeer as you typically get in a large Audi saloon. So yeah, they're not doing many more of these Audis, unfortunately, in terms of combustion engine, big power, big saloon cars. They are gradually moving towards electric, as proven by the fact that we've also got a electric Audi saloon to be looking at on this game as well, which we'll have a review out of that after this. But yeah, let's listen to the engine first and talk about it some more. So yeah, it's got a fairly decent sounding engine. Not the best sounding V8 that Audi have ever done. I much prefer the likes of the RS4 from the mid 2000s, but yeah, still a fairly good sounding engine. And yeah, that electric system, although I don't think it provides much in the way of extra power, it does seem to plug in the gaps between, you know, gear changes or those turbos spooling up. So yeah, it's not a you know, a proper hybrid. Like I said, it's only a mild hybrid electric system, but you know, it's doing a good job. And yeah, it's also helping get this car to 60 really rather quickly as well. It can do 0 to 60 in 3 seconds, which is 0.7 of a second quicker than the older version. It can also do 0 to 100 in 7.6 seconds, which is 1.1 seconds quicker than the older version. And it goes to a top speed of 204 miles an hour, which is pretty much the same as that older version. So yeah, there's not really many downsides to this car at all. A hint of understeer, granted, and obviously it does weigh a lot, so yeah, even though it's obviously got an electric system on the board and those turbochargers, it's not going to be the most economical car going. But as far as sport saloons go, yeah, this is well up there in terms of, you know, modern sport saloons. Not my favourite from Audi either, but yeah, definitely one that, you know, you can enjoy in several ways. You can enjoy it around the track, you can enjoy it on a drag strip, you can enjoy it on the open road, and you can just enjoy it by just cruising around. So yeah. And yeah, that handling is definitely more on point than the older version, with that rear wheel steering, the ceramic brakes, and the suspension being tuned up to be different depending on the conditions with the suspension. So yeah, really rather fun car to drive, to be honest, and yeah, a solid addition to the game. We've been wanting an updated RS7 Sportback for a long time, because we've had that older version for a while. That originally came out in 2013, so yeah, been a long time coming having a new version of one of these, but I'm glad we finally do. And you can get this by getting 20 points on the festival playlist, so it's easy enough to get. Those 20 points can come quick and fast, and yeah, you'll get your hands on a really rather nice car. And at the end of the day, getting those 20 points also contributes towards the season overall, which means you can get the Audi e-tron as well, which is another Audi that I'm going to review in the future. Hopefully not long after this one. But yeah, nonetheless, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.